Hey there. If you're listening to this on the podcast, you can catch this episode live on YouTube. You're listening to the Loveish Podcast, and I'm your host, Seida Hood, a licensed clinical social worker. Each week, I'm going to help you to develop the belief and strategy necessary to make an immediate impact on the world by deep diving into topics like mental wellness, faith, relationships, and love. I should mention before we hop into the show, this is not a substitute for a relationship with a licensed therapist. You ready? Let's get it! Hi! Welcome back for another episode of the Loveish Podcast! Woo, 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 woo! How are you doing? I am so excited that you are watching this episode here. Now, I know y'all noticed this fine young gentleman sitting next to me here. And I know that y'all know that I have done all the podcast episodes solo up until this time. It's always been my plan to bring guests onto the show. And I could not be more honored to have my wonderful husband, Mr. Mack, join the conversation. Y'all give him a round of applause in the streets. What's good, baby? How you doing?
I'm all right. Hanging in there. This is I'm in the background usually, so this is all something. But I'm happy to be here. I appreciate it.
This is like actually hilarious because y'all should really hear how this man be dragging me for my recordings. Look at this brother. You camera shot back.
No. I'm just, it's your people. I'm with you.
Okay. So anyway, y'all will see us holding notes in our hands because brain's over 30, let's be real. Of course. So today we are going to be talking about cultivating joy in marriage. First of all, I want y'all to know that the struggle is real, okay? If you are a married person, then you already know how marriage gets highs, lows, everything in between. So know that us recording this episode for you is like would you like to say something?
No, it's that right there.
It's something, but seriously, I thank God for how far we have come in our marriage. And I want to offer a disclaimer. We are by no means doing this episode to say that our marriage is perfect, to say that it's flawless. We are not out here giving couple advice. That's not what we're doing. We're just sharing our experiences on ways to cultivate joy in your marriage because we've been talking about joy on the podcast. So without further ado, let's jump right into the tea. How we met. You want to start or you want me to start?
Yeah, you know where you go, so I can go and correct everything you might have missed. Favor yourself.
I'm gonna try to favor myself. Okay, so I'll just tell y'all from my perspective. Let me just go back to the first time I saw Mac. It's gonna be hard for me to say Mac. Right?
You can say what you want to say.
Okay. First time I saw Marlon. I was at, we met in college, first of all. And so I was at the Gospel Fest concert or whatever. And he was rapping. And I was like, who is that? I ain't seen him at this school. And I'm looking like that because I'm like, his bars are on point. Usually, well, okay, I can't say this about everybody, but let's just keep it all the way 100. When you hear Christian rap, sometimes you be like, the bars not finna be hitting. But his bars was on point. Bars still on point. You know what I'm saying? So I saw him, and then it was one day we were in the mail room, and I had just got done checking my mail, and then he came in and checked his mail, and I noticed that he was pretty close to my mailbox. I'm like, what's his last name? He all up in my business. I'm just playing. He wasn't in my business, but I did notice that he was next to me. And then one of my friends, shout out to Raven Girl, whoop whoop, she was like, Seida, do you know Marlon? And I was like, no. And it pretty much just took off from there. We were super cool friends, you know, relationship established as friends. Like we hung out all the time, and we cannot leave out Stefan. Shout out to Stefan, because it was like the three amigos, Marlon, Stefan, and Seida, like everywhere. Lunch, class, library, studying, whatever. That's what it was. So that's how we met from my perspective. What about you, babe?
Oh man, I'm glad to be here. I ain't gonna lie. Now I'm not gonna discourage you by saying this, but my memory sucks. But I do remember this because some things you just don't forget.
That's the mic.
I remember our first. What you want me to do?
Your foot on the mic.
When I first saw you, like I said,
reading off the paper.
Man, you're horrible, honestly. When I first saw you, you were, I might be wrong too, but I think I remember you being in the living quarters where we stayed at. It's called The Village, off-campus apartments. I really never was about staying on campus. But I think I saw you moving. Actually, you were driving a red van and whipping that thing too, not waved, whatever. Then I saw you at another location for the first full time, and that was at the open mic thing. Open mic night, yeah. You was hosting, and I was like, I was mind my business at the school here. You know what I'm saying? And then I saw you, I was like, okay.
That's what I thought when I saw you. Okay.
It's a pretty young lady, you know. I'm mind my business, keep doing my thing, but that's how I initially seen you. Then it was at the mail room. Well, I think Raven introduced us. Said what's up. I think I sat down with y'all for a little bit, ate a little bit, and I had to get out of there because. Yeah, you ate Raven's fries. Yeah, then I had to get out of there because, like I said, I had things to do. But yeah, that was it. I definitely remember that. Okay. That's the okay. It's my answers. Is it? I was gonna read it. I was just trying to see what's proper. Okay. So I think the things that we used to do, like when I said we were friends first, like that's what's relevant. I feel like we were friends first. We cultivated a friendship between us in our relationship before we were ever actually like dating or whatever. And low key, I feel like the chemistry was really strong between us. Yeah, you're right. So, I'm just thinking. Yeah. I feel like people thought that we were dating already, but we weren't. We was just like super cool with each other. That's why I'm thinking at first. Yeah. So we just used to spend, time talking, studying together, like we talked about. We used to have study sessions and stuff, and at the library and chemistry class over break. Care to talk about chemistry class? I got an A. And I hate chemistry. No, I ain't gonna talk to him. I didn't understand how that worked out like that. I don't know how I got what I got, you got what you got. but that's not new. You was asleep in class. But that's not new. It took a little bit more than my studies. I'm a genius, but hey. You are a genius, but you was just asleep. Yeah, I was very tired. A lot of people weren't working full time, working full time, working, then going to school full time. I was just, as long as I can make it, what I'm saying? It was tough. Facts. Yeah, but yeah, definitely. You need prospect. Yeah. Yeah, but definitely though, for me, yeah, it was that. Like you said, it was a bond. Like even when I first met you, you had like a birthday going on. I think that nobody really even talked about or celebrated, and that's why I was like, I gotta do something special with the cake and all that. It wasn't even like because I was on to you like that. You gonna tell the story fully, or you gonna drop hints? Oh yeah, how you bought me a cake? Oh, y'all like all that extra. Got it. You got to go ahead. I thought that was a mouthful right there. Well, it was my birthday, and
Yeah, I really wasn't doing much to celebrate. So I thought it was the sweetest thing ever. He bought me a little personalized cake. Yeah. It was so precious. Yeah. That's when I knew.
What's that? That's
I'm just playing. But really, right. Let's transition to talking about when we did know that we wanted a relationship. And we're going to pause right here and have a word from our sponsor for the episode. I believe that every woman is handcrafted to make a unique impact on the world. I believe that women are born with their purpose deeply rooted inside of them. They only need to unlock it. I see you today. I see you waiting for other people to tell you what your life's purpose is and how to get there. I see you walking around feeling utterly exhausted and drained from supporting everyone around you. You have literally achieved so much, but you never stop to celebrate because it just doesn't feel like enough. You don't even tell people that you're walking around struggling to exist. What if you could unlock not only your life purpose, but the strategy to help you walk boldly into your next season? Would you be brave enough to take the leap? I'm Seida Hood, a licensed clinical social worker, and I want to invite you to join me at the Pink Emerald Retreat, where I help innovative women just like you to unlock their purpose and step boldly into the next season of their lives. At this intimate weekend retreat, you're going to learn how to speak with authority, to show up boldly in any environment, to walk more confidently, embracing your God-given identity, to develop life strategies that keep you productive in any season of life. We're talking big picture and day-to-day life here, and so much more. Not to mention, you will have a private room complete with a soaker tub and other amazing amenities, discounted services at the on-site spa, and access to nearby attractions in one of the most prominent suburbs of Illinois. Ready to book your luxury stay? Register now at thepinkemerald.com/retreat or click the link in the show notes. When are you going to stop pretending like you're Superwoman? Yes, I know you believe if you don't do it, it won't get done. Take a deep breath and pause with me for a moment here. You're doing too much. You know it and I know it. Let's stop pretending and get you some relief starting today. Do you set weekly wellness goals? If not, you've got to start. No more leaving yourself last on your to-do list. I want you to download the Confident Bae app and start using the weekly wellness tracker now. It's 100% free to use, and it comes with a digital journal to help you process thoughts and feelings on the go. You can even meet a tribe of like-minded women inside of Bae's Digital Cafe. I'm serious. Take off your cape, take a deep breath, and download the app at thepinkemerald.com/app or hit the link in the show notes. I know for me, when I knew is when I saw your integrity. Like, I was able to see how you behave with people, how you treated people. And I think, like, let's just, again, keep it real. Like, us being Black folks, whether it's Black woman, Black man, whatever, there's the stigma of angry Black man, angry Black woman, etc. And I think that going to a predominantly white college is easy for the perception to be like, oh, he's an angry Black man. Because low key, y'all, he do not be smiling unless you're talking to him. Like, he's trying to hold it back right now. Like, unless you be talking to him. Oh, okay. He has a very nice smile, but he's not one of those people that be like smiling for pictures. He gotta, you know.
I don't know, be natural.
Okay.
I try to be. We'll call it that. I just don't see a like cheese. Like, no.
Cheese.
If I want cheese and before that, you know, I can't get into it. That's good though. You got that.
Well, that's okay. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is, I could see how people would easily misperceive him and think like, oh, another angry Black dude or whatever.
Serious, folks.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Cool.
You are something.
What? It's the truth. You know? Okay. So that's when I knew that I wanted to actually be in a relationship with you. It's when I saw how you treated people, when I saw that, it didn't really matter, because some people be aggressive towards other races. And the fact that neither one of us believed in like being aggressive toward other races and all this other stuff, like that really says something, I think, about who you are. But that's me.
I got you. I understand. That makes sense. Yeah, that's part of it too, I think. Your individuality. Because I know when I first got there, I was lightweight Black Panther was pushed up on me about, hey brother, you don't got to sit at the table by yourself with these. I'm like, what is going on around here? It was like a little organization. I love my race, you know what I'm saying? That's for sure. Prideful in it. I just know that I've been around so many different, personalities and races that you just one for me, so that's just cool. And so seeing how, you was part of that on the scene, what are you smiling like that for?
I'm just like, I'm listening to you talk and you like really on the show. Go ahead. Just like,
that's what I was trying to tell you. I wasn't ready for this. But nah, it's cool. But yeah, but even with that, and then I think just how you just handle yourself off and on campus, and like how our schedule just started, coincide, and then we eat together, then to be the car swipes. And then if you didn't, if I ain't had it, you need to ride, and it was just like straight clicking. And that's what I needed at the time too, because I was coming off the tail end of a relationship that wasn't where I was supposed to be at. And it was more, you were definitely like a relief. Like I told you, I wasn't trying to do no relationships, none of that. I didn't need none of that. And you actually wasn't thirsty for none of that. And that was so cool to be around somebody with no ulterior motives.
Because I had just got out of a relationship where I had got cheated on. So I was like, no, we're good.
Yeah, I was tired. And I just want, if anything, it was a soulmate, what I wanted. And then, so we just kept going.
I think that's actually an important point that we weren't even going to bring up, but like being clear about your expectations for relationships from the beginning, like even when it pissed you off or whatever, because at first he had said he didn't like me, but then he came back around and admitted that he did.
Man, this girl here. That was one of the weirdest moments of my life. I do remember that, but then I'm like, I don't even understand why I even said if I did say. I was just probably that was probably real love. I didn't know it, you know what I'm saying? Didn't know what to call it.
Okay. All right, moving into the hard part of the show. When is it or was it difficult to cultivate joy in marriage? And I'm gonna let you go first.
I knew you were gonna say that.
Of course.
When was it and how is it? Or was it?
When was it hard? When was it most difficult to cultivate joy in marriage?
I'm gonna say, is it? Because it's a present thing.
Most certainly.
Yeah. When was it and is it? Was it the most hardest to cultivate joy in this marriage that we have here? Well, it's a multi-layered question. I guess I can put it like, when I look back at it now, the reason or the whatever behind for not having the joy, it always started with myself. You know what I'm saying? Whether, and that was really contingent upon my relationship with the Lord. The peace and the joy, all that stuff comes only, in His presence. So any time stepping out of that, but still having to function, can probably be when I was less joyous, you know what I'm saying? And not in the right position to be with you. So therefore, that's that way. But just on paper, just butting heads and not being on the same one accord with certain ideas or even thoughts. Backgrounds is different. It's all sound cliche when they tell you this stuff you married, but man, it's all plays a part. I mean, even from just like where you clean, and the way you think you clean more than the other person, because the way that person clean like this, and it's, boy, we're not here to give advice, just our stories. You're right.
Just our stories.
Yeah, but so, I don't know. I think joy, like I said, joy was most lost or just not found in there. What I think more of me was detached from just following the Holy Spirit all around the board. And familiarity and a lot of things come into play, you know what I'm saying? I think I know you enough to this, but then, it'll probably come later. But I know one thing I learned is when I respected respected you for who you are. You know what I'm saying? Not just, everybody go, I love you, girl. But look, people can do all that and mask. For me, this is my opinion, my thing I stand on. Anybody can respect, love someone, but not respect them. I think respecting someone is true love, and loving is not really respect. That's what I think. And so those two becoming one with you, that helped me a lot about you.
Okay. Well, for me, I think it was most challenging the first time because I asked us to come up with 2 examples for the show. The first time that it was most challenging for me to cultivate joy was, I think, in the beginning of our marriage when we were still learning each other. We didn't really know, like you said, personalities, how you clean up, how you was raised, your thoughts on food. And, it's the most random things. For example, your thoughts on whether the cap should be on the toothpaste or not.
Yeah. And if
this is a real thing. Can y'all tell? Like, that was a real thing, like a real struggle for us, whether and it sounds dumb, but we got into it so many times of the cap on the toothpaste versus not, and so I think that what we had to do was learn to work as a team. And again, we still struggle with this sometimes, but we've come a long way. I think another part that plays a role in that is not only like getting to know one another, but also finances. Like, most of the time when couples get married, there is an adjustment when it comes to finances, whether you have a whole lot or not enough. You have to get adjusted to the way the other person spends money, their habits financially and all the things in between. And so I really feel like that also played a part in the struggle for joy, because if we being honest, like, we didn't really have no money like that.
Time out. Yeah.
We didn't, we had just got married, and our thoughts were like, yeah, we could struggle together or whatever. Like, would not advise that. FYI.
It's that blind love is out there. But you know what it is? It's just, I think it just was just part of the life.
Yeah.
And living for the next moment, you know what I'm saying? We got enough for the wedding, we was good. We got enough for the honeymoon, we was good. And then, come back, and all these bills happen together now. And then my type of work, my trade, layoffs is current, is constant, off and on. But yeah, that bread that's something.
All right. I hope that you have enjoyed this episode of the Loveish Podcast. We are going to stop this episode right here, and I want you to come back and tune in for part 2 of this episode next week. If you are listening to this podcast on your favorite podcast hosting app, and you want to see the video podcast, head on over to YouTube to watch it over there. A quick recap. In this episode, we talked about ways to cultivate joy. We had our first guest on the show, which is Husbay. Shout out to Husbay, MACK The Welder on Instagram. Y'all go follow him. We just started getting into the conversation around the difficult times that couples are faced with in marriage, and the considerations for how to cultivate joy in that. Again, tune in next week for part 2. And if you enjoyed today's episode, share the love, boo. Share it with your mama, share it with your auntie, share it with your friend, share it with your uncle. And once you have shared, please head on over to Apple Podcasts and leave us a 5-star review. Reviews help the podcast to grow. That's all I have for you this week. I'll see you out in these social media streets.